Welcome to Section 420, Talkin Yankees, the podcast. Well, everything's going well for the Yankees. They look like the best team in baseball. You got Garrett Cole making a rehab start there. Looks like he's about to join the team in a couple of weeks. Luis Gil is maybe the best pitcher in baseball right now. Everything's going fine. And then now you get this news with Juan Soto being pulled from the Thursday night game with forearm soreness. This was during the rain delay. And now you have to wondering, oh my God, now is this whole Yankee train going to go off the rails here? So we'll look at this little injury situation. Doesn't look too serious at this moment, but again, you never know. So before we get started, make sure you subscribe to the podcast. Get cool updates like this all throughout the season. And all the Yankee-related stuff, news, history, all that. You got to be an audio podcast subscriber. And make sure after this, go over to YouTube, Section 420 Talkin Yankees. Subscribe there as well and get to see me visually. But of course, make sure you're an audio podcast subscriber. So, of course, now the Yankees doing what they normally do against Minnesota, just beating them up, sweeping them. Yankees 6-0 against Minnesota. Again, you like when Minnesota comes to town. The fans are actually pretty cool. I went to the second game there. Was a Minnesota Twins fan next to me, and he was like, "Hey, you got to sit next to me." I'm a Twins fan. I was like, "I like the Twins. I like the Twins because the Yankees always beat them, so I got no problem with the Twins there." So again, these three games were kind of blowouts, laughers. But of course, now the serious news with Juan Soto having to leave during a rain delay of the final game there with soreness in his forearm. Now, the good and the bad of this, of course, no injuries are ever good, of course, of that. But supposedly he's been dealing with this for over a week. Now, he wasn't too great during this Minnesota series, which maybe kind of explains that, even on the Juan Soto jersey night, which unfortunately I was too late there to get one. He didn't really look that good in the game. Now, he had kind of a check swing, blue broken bat hit early on in the first inning. But again, he didn't really hit the ball with any sort of authority. He had a couple of strikeouts later in the game, which again, normally he doesn't do. Usually he's pretty good there at the plate, well over 300 there. So something, it did seem like a tick off with him. Now, I would say take solace in that he's been playing with this for a while, including that game, if you want to count over a week in San Francisco, where he hit the 2 home runs, including a 97-mile-per-hour fastball from Blake Snell there in the first inning, and then, of course, having that dramatic 2-run home run in the ninth later on. So, Soto's been getting some big hits on this road trip as well in San Diego. So, again, this has been bothering him a little bit. He's still been able to perform at a pretty high level, maybe not 100%, but still, the fact he's been able to perform with this at a high level, I would say I would take that as the good news. It's just the bad news now is, is this going to be down for a couple of days? Are they going to have to put him on the IL? So they've got to have an imaging test on him just to see exactly what the situation is. I'm going to guess some sort of low-level strain where maybe they just cool him down for 4 games, and which would kind of stink because now we're in the midst of this very big Dodgers series coming up, weekend series at the stadium, which you're kind of looking forward to. You want all the big stars involved. You want Yamamoto involved. You want Ohtani involved. You want Judge and Soto involved. And now it looks like Soto's probably, at the very least, maybe going to miss this series, which, again, isn't terrible. Again, it's just 3 games on the calendar. I know all the hype of Yankees, Dodgers, and all that. Yes, you understand. And, again, you want your big players there and your big-name players there, so it makes it fun. New York, Los Angeles, but at the very least, it looks like you're going to miss out on that. Now, if it turns out it's a little bit more serious, where it is like some sort of grade strain there, then maybe they have to put him on the IL, which, again, overall wouldn't be terrible if it's just 10 days, and maybe they go retroactive a little bit. We'll see what, I don't know if they could really, save a day somewhere. But nevertheless, doesn't look like it's super serious at this point. Again, nothing with the elbow or the wrist or wrist ligaments or hand ligaments. We're talking about bones in the hand and the wrist. That's where you got to be concerned. This looks like maybe just a forearm strain where maybe they should have shut him down a game or 2 on the West Coast, but they just kept riding him out there. So if he was able to play through some of this and still perform at a high level, I wouldn't put this at the, OS, when I want to say what the S word is yet, but I wouldn't put it at that level yet. But again, it's an annoyance, and just at a bad time because, again, you want him to be involved in this Yankee-Dodgers series. This makes it fun to have old stars there. But at the very least, I think he's going to probably miss the series or at least a game. The fact that they had to pull him out of the rain delay game. Now, that could have been the fact that, look, they had a lead. It's Minnesota. They own Minnesota. So, this gives Soto the rest of the night off, especially you have wet conditions there on the field there. So, you got to understand you want him running around. You want him, whatever. So, that kind of makes sense there if you want to pull him out anyway. But still, it seems he's probably going to, if I had to guess, maybe he's going to miss the Dodgers series. Maybe just cool him down for a couple of games and not have to put him on the IL there. So that might be the worst of it. And, of course, if the Dodgers go to beat the Yankees 2 out of 3 or even sweep the Yankees, then you're going to be like, no one's ever going to remember that Juan Soto wasn't in the series there. So, you're going to look at it and be kind of annoyed. But, again, as long as he's no structural damage, nothing bad there, it'll be okay. I think the Yankees should be able to survive this there. It's just the timing's bad. But nevertheless, Yankees is going well. Again, 8 in a row. Sweep the Twins. Not really much to get into there. I mean, the first game a little bit close there, but almost really 3 laughers. especially the second game. The Yankees jumped out to a 4-0 lead. That's the game I went to. The Yankees just, built up like an 8-0 lead, and then, Minnesota crawled back a little bit. But again, this was all Yankees. And I know the Twins, they're doing decent there in the Central, but overall, the Yankees just blew their doors. And now, again, this is 6-0 against them in 2024. So that's the episode. Keep it short and sweet. Soto hurt a little bit. I wouldn't push the panic button right now, but maybe they just got to put him on ice for a game or two, and then hopefully, we can just come back and this offense could just keep doing what they're doing. Catch you next time.